Who knows how to kill this? Someone in chat. Who knows how to kill it? Thank you for your patience. My stomach greatly appreciates your patience. Okay, so when you have massive thickness, or another way to word this is when your opponent has no escape routes. Even if they escape, they run into a wall. When there's no escape routes, you just reduce the ice space. And if they just let them out. Right? You can't do anything. There's nowhere to go. Where did they go? They have nowhere to go. You just reduce. You just keep them mindless. They have nowhere to go. When you don't care about them running away, you reduce their ice space from the second line, and that's how you kill it. That's how you kill crazy invasions. Okay, so let's look at the game. Sorry about the wait, but let's look at this game. Oh yeah. Shout out to the Yun Young supporter team match. So if you were interested in playing in a team match in December, I believe it's December, not on my calendar. 13th. I swear I put it in my calendar. December 13th. Yun team match. And this is at 1 p.m. 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. Oh, yeah, now it pops up. I made it and then it refreshed and showed me the other one that I made. Yun team match at 1 p.m. on December 13th. If you would like to be on my team, then if you are a supporter on Patreon or on Twitch, both are eligible. Just click on that post and you can join the team. All right. So you go in, blah, blah, blah. Technically, you're supposed to do this with the Chinese opening. But he has a stone here, which is weird. Oh, not that. This is technically Joseki. It's weird to have this stone here, though. So normally against this stone, normally when they play on this side, you just fix. Which, if you look up Joseki's, or look up Chinese opening games, this is a pattern. So it's very similar. And that's like 15 points in the quarter, so it's pretty nice to fix. I know it's not like open side, but this is like one of those where you study the opening, you learn the patterns. This is a Chinese opening. Anyway, just so you know, just fix. Unless you're doing avalanche or something, just feels weird not to fix. This is nice Tanuki because this cut doesn't work, but this Hane does, so keep that in mind. I might be wrong. I am wrong. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, you're good. You're good. You Tanuki, that's fine. He plays, you block, very nice. He plays here. The response to this is to just surround. That's how you punish this stupid 3-3. This is a mistake. You don't do this. Thank you for the resub. You scared the crap out of me. But thank you for the resub, IGS. Alright. So yeah, this is only good when you have a pincer on this side and a pincer on this side. Like, somewhere. When both of these stones are pincered, then white 3-3s and cuts, and there's 2 weak groups. That's the only time you play the 3-3. That's the only exception. Otherwise, of course, weak group right away or attach. So the punishment is just surround. And you control both center quadrants over here. No need to reduce. White's alive. Yeah, just let him live. Let him small. It's very nice. Probably want a base over here, but you could treat that as light, I guess. We're almost single digit Q, so we can learn that. Jump. And the reason is this stone is attackable. So, okay, let me rephrase. This is perfectly fine at double digit Q, right? This Joseki is perfectly fine, easy to play, less likely to make mistakes. At single digit Q, if this stone is attackable, you want to jump. It's more complicated and a lot easier to make mistakes, but it's more powerful. But only because the A stone can't make a base. It's already pincered with a strong group that has a base with B. So you want to start a fight because you have the advantage. But at double digit Q, this is simple and easy, so this is fine. The response to this one is technically here, I believe. No, I'm being stupid because I'm thinking of the AI Joseki, and I forgot to take this stone into account. This is the Joseki. I had a brain fart for a second. Sorry about that. Yeah, this is the Joseki. This is the Joseki. But the reason it popped in my head is because I thought you were trying to copy an AI Joseki, and I was like, no, the AI Joseki to the Nobi is here. But wait a second, why are we copying AI Joseki? There's an A stone. Don't copy the AI Joseki. This is the Joseki. Okay, so there's that. Okay, you lived. And now you're like, okay, largest framework, whites. White is very big. Okay. You reduce. Perfectly fine. And then you play up here. This is interesting. It doesn't make a base with this stone, but it does make an extension from this, which is nice. And it just says, I want to treat F17 lightly. So you can do that at single digit Q. At double digit Q, you're supposed to make your base. Now, with that being said, this is technically the wrong move because this leads to a double low wing with the star point. So 3-3 is painful. So you don't want a double low wing. That is not good because it makes the 3-3 very powerful because one of those two stones is going to be in a bad spot. So let's imagine we play this way. You see how this one has no territory and it's out on the fourth line for influence. So this one doesn't have a lot of territory. So this one is in a bad spot. That is why you would play this one. And I'm sure you see this formation a lot at higher levels. It just leads to better results. And if you have a low stone here, you almost always want a high stone or just an enclosure. If you already have an extension, usually just enclosure is fine. So I get lots of little shapes. Nothing major. Like I really like that your basics are doing good. Just lots of little shapes to just add on slowly. You don't have to remember all of them. As long as if you can just take a couple shapes out of this, it's nice. But now getting to the big stuff. So you played Tiger's Mouth, you fixed. Here's where we start making the fundamental mistakes. You started pushing from behind. You fixed your shape. You are fine. No more weakness. Okay, so now you think big move. White has the big framework. Reduce, right? Play the line of influence. Play on the line of influence. Or if you have the big framework, build while also reducing. Okay? Just play on the big framework. Honestly, you could just play right there, and he can't kill the stone. Where's he? Oh, not that. How's he gonna kill you? Okay. Who cares? He cuts. Even if he cuts that stone, I don't care. Cut that stone. Take it. I don't care. I just went away. Isn't Q8 big? Oh, no. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because first off, this cut doesn't even work. But even if it did, I don't care. I'm going to play big move. Because this is a side, but it's not an open side. So it's just half the side. It's not even a full side. It's just half a side. So when you say, but I lose potential to do this. Like, yes, but you stopped potential to do this. Now, if you said, yeah, but side is bigger than center. Well, then why didn't you play on the side? Why didn't you build it? Why didn't you defend it? Why didn't you make it bigger? So it's the argument that says, okay, this is something. Yes, this is value. Okay, but I want to destroy this because this is bigger. So if this dies in the process, I don't care. I destroyed more, right? Because I'm playing on the biggest one, not the second biggest, not the third biggest. I'm playing on the biggest. So if this cancels out, that's an even exchange. But if it's not the biggest and you try to build it, let's say I play here and then my opponent plays here. Let's say I do get this and my opponent gets this. Now I have to ask, okay, was mine bigger? No, his was bigger. So it's a negative exchange rate. So it's better to make an even exchange rate where both players get nothing than it is to make a negative exchange rate where both players get something but your opponent got more. Okay. Now, on the flip side, if yours was bigger, like let's say you make the decision in your head that the right side is bigger than the center. Like, oh, maybe you draw a smaller circle in your head. Okay. Either way, this still isn't the correct move. You should build it. Make it bigger. Make that trade. That's the idea here. Is we're not playing on the big move. Either build yours or reduce whites. Find the biggest area and play on it. Find the biggest framework and play on it. That's the mistake here. Pushing from behind like this and then playing over here, this is all very small. If you're not weak, if you're not under attack, this is all very, very small. This is not the big center. And this is why white got such a big framework. Because you neglected it. You actually helped build it and then neglected it, and white turned right here is really painful. And then you played that Tiger's Mouth, I believe. Okay, no, you put there. Yeah, so you see how white's just getting bigger and bigger. If I was white, I would block here because you build a bowl. You don't just build one side and not the other. So you see how this is getting really, really big. Hello, Pac-Man. Yeah. So you do reduce, and that's good. Then your opponent plays here. You block. Very nice. No big deal. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. And then you block this cutting point. Why is that one important? Yeah, it's a side, but like if the center is bigger, just play here. Like fix or fix. Just destroy the points. This stone was the important stone. Because this is what destroys the biggest framework. If it wasn't the biggest framework, then why did you play on it? If he cuts, honestly, I don't care. Just fix my cutting point and then run away. I don't care if this lives. Honestly, I could probably attack this very severely, so probably this cut isn't even good. But I don't care if it lives and I lose these points because I took the big points. Now, if it wasn't the big points, then I would want to, build or play on it or whatever. Right? If mine is bigger, then I want to play on it. So it's being consistent and playing on the biggest area. So here you actually gave white the center for the right. So you say, okay, so this says that the right is bigger than the center. Then why did you play this move in the first place? So this idea isn't consistent. But okay, so now we're going to say that this is your idea. You changed your mind, whatever. White got a really big center, though. And the reason why I got the big center is because of these moves and not playing with this stone. So that is the first thing, is I don't think you played on the biggest area. Okay. Now the second fundamental was, how do you deal with this invasion? Okay. How do you deal with that? Well, white is actually already surrounded. And to make it even more, to put more emphasis on it, you actually played this move, which surrounded white even more. And even this one, and he responded. It's very surrounded. Just play on the second line and stop the ice space. He has nowhere to go. He has 2 in a row. At best, he has 2 in a row. At best, maybe he has 3 in a row. But you will get to play first. So the way to kill this was 1. Yeah. R13 lost me the game. Yeah, letting your opponent live, and this is pretty devastating, simply because you gave white this in exchange for this. So if you lose this, then white got this for free. And that's a very, very negative exchange. Now you said the AI liked these moves. I understand the AI liking these because the AI likes to build stuff. Oh, and the invasion. Okay. Okay. Yeah. These are nice. These are nice. But you have to get to that eye space. You have to understand that white is surrounded, and you can kill this. So, like I said, most of your moves this game, I think, were very basic and were nice. Like, I liked a lot of your moves. There's a lot of little shapes you can improve on, of course, but you can always do that. But most of your game was actually really nice. The fundamentals that I think you messed up were you did not play in the biggest area, and you did not know how to kill a crazy invasion. Those are the only two things. If you can take those two things from this game, from this review, and apply it in your future games, I think it'll already be a huge help. But in addition to that, there's a lot of little shapes. So maybe if you watch this a couple times and get all those little shapes down as well, in addition to those two big things, I think there's lots to learn from this game. Lots to take away. But the majority of your game's actually pretty good for your level. So just a few shapes and like two more concepts. And this game would have been completely different. Do you have any questions about that? Any questions? Awesome. Yeah. Glad you found it helpful. Okay, yeah, that's good though. It's good to be ahead in the opening and then just having to learn like one or two things in the middle game. I think that's good. So I have 20 minutes till the next lesson. I don't know if that's enough for another game review. Because the game reviews usually take about 30 to 40